Greetings to my team of 144, all Starseeds, Lightworkers, and Way Showers. More weird and wild stuff coming through the veil today. It is 7/11/2019, 7/11/2019. That's a code that my brother gets a lot, 7/11/7/11. He came into this realm on 11/29/1971. November 29th, 1971. He has many synchronicities with these numbers. When we once met Chief Golden Light Eagle, he asked him the meaning of 7/11, and Chief told him that means that your unconscious is craving a Slurpee. But he's a funny guy, that Chief Golden Light Eagle. But in truth, he did say, make a joke, as Heyoka was jumping in, but he said the meaning was your higher self or the angelic realm letting you know to be aware of your environment, to be aware of what's going on around you, to be conscious of what you might be experiencing in that moment. And these numbers can be interpreted in many different ways. Now, yesterday was a very strange day, many synchronicities. In the video I put out yesterday, the audio, I spoke a little bit about Q, and there's many different meanings for Q. You know, the Q Anon, that's revealing a lot of what's going on in this realm, and the messages from the Alliance coming through, but also Q symbolizes a high-level military intelligence. And then there's also a spiritual meaning of Q. There's a book called The Lost Gospel of Q, and Q symbolized Quell, Quelle, which meant source. So there's many different meanings. Also, Q can be interpreted as the breaking of the time loop, the breaking of the loops of time, freeing from the cycles of birth and death. And yesterday, I had to go to the dentist because another Ascension symptom, which is manifesting for myself and others, is some of our teeth are shattering. You know, that was a nightmare I used to have as a kid, was just biting down and my teeth shattering into pieces. And last month I busted a couple teeth, so I had to have to get a couple crowns. So on the way to my dentist, as I was walking to his building, I ran into a gentleman I had met several months back, and his name just happens to be Q. And then Q waved me over, and he said, I want you to meet this woman I was talking about that, you know, is psychic and into these things. We spoke for like an hour last time I met him about the Ascension and the shift and, you know, the event and what's going on in this field. So he wanted to meet this woman that also had a business in the building where this dentist is. And she has kind of like a spa, but does Reiki and other stuff, I think. And we all just started talking about the shift, the Ascension, the event, and she was talking about vision she was having about 2020 being the year of the major shift, or what we call the event or the Ascension. And they both spoke about how the last couple days they were totally exhausted, totally wiped out. So we were talking about the Schumann resonance and these cosmic waves coming in and the shift. And then I had to get up to the dentist, and when I went in there, the secretary or whatever you want to call her, she was checking me in. We were talking about, you know, just people acting abnormal. She said things were acting weird, and I started talking about the Schumann resonance with her and these energies coming in. And then the hygienist, or whatever her title is, walked up, and I started talking about like the intense dreams I was having, and she said, oh, I had intense dreams. And then the other woman was talking about how she didn't sleep at all that night. So these energies coming in are affecting people in different ways. Some people makes them really tired, some they can't sleep at all. And it was funny that when I started talking about these cosmic waves and these energies coming in and the Schumann resonance, one woman asked if I was some kind of scientist or something. I said, no, it's just something I do on the side. It's a hobby. So I go into the dentist, and he's a real character. He's really funny, and we're joking around. And so he pulls out this long needle to give me the shot, the Novocaine, and sticks it in there, and the Novocaine goes in, and then he comes back like 10 minutes later and starts drilling in my jaw. And I was like, I still feel that. You know, he hit a nerve. I wasn't going to say anything because I knew I was going to have to take the needle again. I'm not too fond of needles, so he gives me the shot, and then the second one, then the whole side of my head went numb. So as he was drilling it, he started joking around about some things, but then he said, just out of the blue, the event is coming and everyone is invited. And I kind of laughed and I said, you know, I just told Q, and I believe her name was Anita or something, that the event is here and it's going to happen and everyone is going to be involved or invited. He kind of just gave me this strange look. It was just a strange day all around. It was kind of like an Alice in Wonderland kind of day, or a day at a time, where many strange things and synchronicities happen. So I'm sure you're all experiencing these as these waves come in through the field, shifting our awareness, shifting our consciousness, revealing that which is hidden. So today, the 11th, July 11th, is Kin 259 from the Dream Spell Journey by Valon Votan and Balon Ilk, the Crystal Chamber of Self-Generation. One day to close the 44th Galactic Spin, the Tzolk'in cycle of the Dream Spell 1320 Matrix, July 11, 2019, NS 1.31.13.15, Kin 259, Blue Crystal Storm. I dedicate in order to catalyze, universalizing energy. I seal the matrix of self-generation. With the crystal tone of cooperation, I am guided by the power of magic. Harmonic 65, Cosmic Matrix. Self-regulate, universal fire of presence. And that's from the Dream Spell Journey of the Mayan calendar. Today's transmission is from Celia Fenn by Archangel Michael, the 8-8 Lionsgate 2019. Complete embodiment of the soul as we enter the 2019-20 creative cycle. Beloved ones, you are standing on the cusp of great change. You may say that this has been so for many years, and indeed you would be right, as the path of transformation and ascension has unfolded before you. But at this moment and at this time of the Lionsgate portal of 2019, you are truly entering into an accelerated time of transformation that will take you into 2020, and that will only culminate in 2021. It is a time when you are releasing the last vestiges of the old and fully activating the soul embodiment process, which is the primary aim of the Ascension process. As this completes, you become embodied light, embodied spirit, fearlessly living out the path of creative love that is your destiny when you choose to incarnate in physical form. As you know, beloveds, the Lionsgate is a very special time in the sacred year. It is the moment when a new cycle of time creation begins, and you are able to end and initiate timelines or time cycles as we prefer to call them. You can also jump timelines, realities, and even universes in your creative quest to live your best lives, merging all experience into the powerful and ever-present now moment. The sacred year begins on the 26th of July with the planetary new year and is preceded by the celebratory Day Out of Time on the 25th of July. On the 25th, your ancient ancestors knew to celebrate the passing over from the old cycle to the new with creative joy and festival. On the 26th, the new cycle was initiated. The 26th of July was celebrated by the Mayans and the ancient Egyptians as the moment when time, space, was renewed for another cycle by the divine creative intelligence. This was also the time when the royal star Sirius was and is conjunct our sun and rises in conjunction at sunrise in the northern hemisphere and specifically over Egypt at the time of the rising of the Nile River, which represented the return of abundance to the land and the people for another cycle of life. The Syrians and the royal lion beings were and remain the master star teachers who have helped to guide humanity on the path of ascension and evolution. The Lionsgate portal is guarded by two of the royal Syrian lions who are known as the lions of yesterday and tomorrow in the sacred texts. They are the gatekeepers and ensure that only those who are grounded in the present moment and conscious of their path are able to transit through the portal and create another cycle of life in a conscious way. They are not only guardians but also teachers who work with the angels and archangels to guide those who are ready in their journey of awakening and creation. Each one of you who reads these words has the ability to make the conscious transit, for you would not have been drawn to these words if you are not at the frequency needed to attract this truth and be part of the power and empowered creation of the Lion's Gate in 2019. The Lion's Gate portal begins to open on the 26th and reaches its full aperture at the 8th of August, or 8/8, under the constellation of Leo. Thereafter it begins to close and is completed by the 12th of August. The 13th of August is the celebration of completion and movement forward, as the planet is now under the guidance of the Royal Lion Star Teachers of Alpha Leonis, the heart of the lion, who guides the Earth through the Virgo constellation and towards the equinox in September. This will be a powerful time indeed, and you will be called to enter into your full power as masters of light and creation and embodied souls in human angelic bodies. 2019 to 2020, a time of great potential and power. Beloveds, we would just say something about the frequency and power of this incoming cycle in the next 2 years. At this time, you will be closing off a cycle of spiritual growth and transformation that began in 1999 and culminates in 2021. This is the archetypal journey of the seeker as it was known to the ancients, following a pathway of symbols that released their power and wisdom to those whose hearts and souls were open to the process. In 2019, the focus of the journey was on the energy of the Divine Feminine as a spiritual leader and teacher, for it is the Divine Feminine that sets the tone for creation in this millennium that is dominated by the frequency of the number 2, which is the spiritual frequency of the Divine Feminine. 2019 is a 3-year, which is the number frequency of Earth Mother and of abundance. Together, these number frequencies serve to empower the Divine Feminine in its role of leadership and creation for the new Earth, while also empowering the rise of the new masculine for the new Earth. 2020 brings in a new energy, which in frequency is a double master number, a double 2 to empower the Divine Feminine, and double 0 to suggest the void. The 0 and the germination of a new seed that will be danced into manifestation by the Divine Feminine in her dance of creation as she births a new cycle for the new Earth. At the same time, the new Divine Masculine will be fully grounded into the Earth and will express his energies as empowerment and manifest creation and the birthing of new communities of light for the new Earth. So rest assured, beloved ones, that this cycle of your lives will be immensely powerful and creative. You will birth and dance into creation all that you desire, if your focus and intention are clear, and if you surrender to the flow of the divine creative intelligence and allow the process of germination and birth on the spiritual level. Complete embodiment of the soul, completing this phase of the ascension process with celebration. The focus on the personal level for this cycle will be the completion of the embodiment of the soul process that was begun in the 2018-19 cycle. In this past cycle, you were enabled via diamond and golden light codes to activate the original DNA template for the divine human. This created the space for the soul to fully descend into the body and complete this phase of the ascension of consciousness. This was by no means an easy process, for it involved deep healing and releasing all old patterns of thought and belief that were not congruent with the frequency of the soul. In other words, the ego needed to release all and any behaviors and beliefs that were blocking the soul from fully expressing its energies within the human experience. So, beloveds, you are engaged in an intense process of purging and cleansing on the emotional, mental, and physical levels. So intense was this process that many of you felt as if you could go no further. But rest assured, beloveds, this process is reaching its culmination. In this incoming cycle, the soul will be able to enter fully into the sacred union of body and soul, and they will begin to live as one. There will be no differences between body and soul, and the body will be clear to express the creative energy of the soul. This will usher in a time of great inner peace and harmony that will gradually begin to be reflected in the outer world as more and more lightworkers and way showers complete the process. Beloved ones, very soon everything that you do will be an expression of soul and divine creation. You will be able to feel within your body when your soul is dancing in the light, or whether it is uncomfortable with your choices because they are not in harmony with your life plan. Then you will be gently guided to make new choices that are more in harmony, and so you will move forward on your journey, creating only abundance, peace, and joy in your new earth reality. This process of activating the divine human template and infusing it with divine diamond light will also be made manifest on the collective level of consciousness. Here you will see and feel old patterns of communal living and existing, giving way to new ideas of community and new ways of being and sharing resources. As communities, you will also be releasing old ego and mind-dominated patterns to make way for more soul-infused ways of being and interacting. Many of you will feel called to initiate new forms of community as part of your soul mission to activate the sacred energy of Earth, and some will be guided to assist in transforming communities that already exist by infusing them with the soul light of the divine feminine and the new masculine. In this cycle, there will be increased levels of what we call ancestral healing on the individual and community and even the national level, as all that belongs to mind and ego begins to give way to structures based on heart, soul, and compassionate love. The past and the future will be changed forever as you focus into this cycle and make the changes that will determine that this time cycle of 2019-20 will be the one that changes everything and creates the golden future that you seek to create and experience. What this means for you as new earth wayshowers. Beloved ones, this will not be an easy time for you as the chaos and storms around you continue to fuel the fires of transformation and change. But we know that as your soul becomes more of who you are and is expressed as who you will be more confident of your path forward and of your ability to create what you desire. Always remember who you are and what you came to Earth to create and experience as a soul and a being of infinite light and energy. Never forget how blessed you are to hold this awareness and consciousness, while so many live in confusion and struggle with only the fearful ego to guide them. Whatever literal and emotional storms may rage around you, hold your inner peace and stay grounded. Remember that as an embodied soul and divine human, you live from inside outwards and from outward in. This simply means that whatever happens in the drama of your life outside of you, you know that within you is the place of peace and safety and abundance and love. Don't give your power to dramas of fear and lack, but focus simply on your passion and what you want to create and experience on Earth as a divine blessing. At this time, in this cycle, there are two versions of Earth that coexist, the multi-dimensional New Earth and the lower-dimensional alternate Earth. Since the third-dimensional Earth no longer exists, part of the chaos you experience is the shifting between dimensions, which for most people is unconscious and random, but for you who are gathering experience with the guidance of your soul, you are learning to move between dimensions and indeed between worlds and timelines with grace and elegance and without trauma and drama. This will also be a time when you will need to care for your body. It is now the sacred temple of your soul, and it will take a while for the body to adjust to the higher frequencies and awareness that come with being infused with soul perceptions and feelings. The body may feel exhausted as it has to run these intense frequencies and deal with intense experiences that are far more powerful than anything that the old ego mind could create. The key here is always surrender. Relax and allow soul and higher self to be your support and to create the miracles that will take you forward into new levels of love. Experience it and enjoy when your body accepts and acclimates to these intense and powerful flows of energy from the soul. Be awake, be aware, and be empowered. You are the shift in human form. This is what you came to experience. We wish you joy as you transit the Lion's Gate. The angelic realms are here to support you. The galactic teachers are here to guide you, and the masters hold the energy of those who have opened to the path. You need simply make the choice and focus the intention as you create the dream. The future is yours, and it is now. This is from Celia Fenn and Archangel Michael. Couple more updates looking at the earthquake map from earthquaketrack.com. Many more earthquakes. 752 earthquakes reported in the past 24 hours. 6,774 earthquakes in the past 7 days. That is intense. These are just other signs of this massive ascension shift we're going through. But the interesting thing that I noticed, the biggest earthquake of today was a 5.2, and that was by what is called Ascension Island. So I thought that was very interesting. This Ascension, what is called Ascension Island, was a 5.2. That's a 7. So the 7-11 going into the, we're flowing into the 7-16-17, the 7-17 of the full moon and the lunar eclipse. Also, a few are living in or around Omaha, Nebraska. This coming Sunday, July 14th, if you're anywhere near Omaha, Patricia Cota-Robles from eraofpeace.org is having a free seminar for all Lightworkers to take place in the full embrace of the July Eclipse series. So there'll be an event. You can check that out, and it'll be 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. on Hilton, Omaha, 1001 Cass, C-A-S-S Street, Omaha, Nebraska, 68102, July 14th in Omaha, Nebraska. You can check that out on eraofpeace.org, and then go under free seminars if you would like to connect with other Lightworkers in your area, and that's in Omaha, Nebraska, this coming Sunday. So I'd like to thank you all for joining me here today. Please leave a comment below what you're experiencing in these eclipse energies, which will be bringing us into the Lion's Gate through this Ascension portal on the 17th into the 8-8 Lion's Gate, which will then transition us into the 8-15 through the 17, which will be the harmonic convergence, the full fruition of the harmonic convergence. I'd also like to thank everyone that has joined me on mission for the Healing Retreat, Healing Center, and Sustainable Community in Ecuador. We are using a CBD business to raise funds for this mission, for this endeavor to create a community in the foothills of the Andes, the base of the spine of the Andes mountain, the Kundalini energy of Gaia rising up through the mountains. The eagle will fly with the condor. The eagle is flying with the condor. The eagle of the north is uniting with the condor of the south. The two continents merge, the energies of the north merging with the south. The east and the west have merged with the middle. Now we are merging the two hemispheres. The upper, it can be symbolized by Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt, or the upper brain, the lower brain, which is Aries and Taurus. So you can join us on our mission at cbdpeaceoil.com. That's cbdpeaceoil.com. I'll put the link in the description below. And you can also join us, other Lightworkers, on our chat room on primedisclosure.com/chat. You can just create a username and sign in and connect with other Lightworkers. So thank you all for all that you're doing on this great ascension process. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you all for your likes and for sharing these videos, to send this out into the field, to connect with all Starseeds and Lightworkers that are on mission to help uplift humanity into the higher frequencies, into the higher realms, as we transmit, transcend, and transmute the lower frequencies, the lower 3D false matrix, as we manifest the new earth, the 5D grid, into the field to uplift all of humanity. We are all in this together. No one is left behind. Stay in the heart center. Keep living your path with heart. Have a beautiful and blessed day, beloved beings of light. Namaste.